So today I want to react to a very sickening and horrifying story coming out of New York City. Actually, it's from the neighborhood where I went to junior high school, 107th Street and 3rd Avenue. Actually, I went to school on 102nd Street and 2nd Avenue. But anyway, that is completely irrelevant. But there was this story that has come out of Spanish Harlem of a 14-year-old boy violently and viciously body slamming a young girl and then stomping on her head. Now, this story is very sensitive in nature, so I want to be very careful how I handle it. I'm going to show the news clip that covers what happened, and we're not going to show the portion where the young man is really causing a lot of bodily harm to her. We want to be sensitive to our audience. However, I need to talk about this from the perspective as a mother. And then I want to provide cultural commentary on this to give us some insight as to what we are watching. So take a listen to this.
Sickening viral video shows a teen brutally attacking a girl on a New York City street, all because she refused to give him her phone number. In the graphic clip, which is circulating on social media, the 14-year-old brute confronts the 15-year-old girl on the corner of East 107th Street and 3rd Avenue in East Harlem around 3:30 p.m. on Monday after school got out. What happens next is difficult to watch.
I just down smack the out of you right now, right?
Do it.
No, you stand right here.
You will.
No, you stand right here. You stand right here.
Oh no, she got your
Let's go to word. You got
Yo, no.
Disturbingly, the attacker is heard being egged on by his friends filming the video, who laugh when he throws the girl to the ground and then stomps on her head. The girl suffered a concussion and was taken by EMS to Harlem Hospital in stable condition, police and sources said. The bully was arrested and charged with assault and is now due to appear in family court, sources said.
Okay, I don't want to show too much more of that, but I wanted to show enough to give you context. So the thesis of my commentary today is going to be focusing on the young man up in Harlem who body slammed the young girl and then stomped on her in the head. So the first thing that I notice when I see stuff like this, it's a very simple question that I always want to ask, and it is, where is the fathers? And when I say where are the fathers, where is his father and where is her father? Because there used to be a time, listen, teens have been involved in violent altercations and bullying forever. When I was in elementary school, I had a really big bully pick me up and swing me. I mean, I was a little old thing, okay? I barely was probably about 80 pounds. And he swung me across the sidewalk and whipped my behind in front of a crowd of people, and nobody helped me. Luckily, I was not severely injured, but it's reflection of the violence in the heart of a lot of these young men, the rage and the aggression that is present. And usually, not all, but for the most part, you witness this kind of behavior in young men that unfortunately are raised by single mothers. Once a young man gets this age, he's 14 years old, you see how tall he is, you see how big he is. If there is no active and present father, particularly in the home, or at least in very close proximity to where his presence is felt, a young man is going to, particularly if he is experiencing a lot of brokenness because of the absence of his father, not knowing who his father is, or not having a very good and cohesive relationship with his father. A lot of that anger and aggression and lack of discipline that tends to be present when the father is not there, they're going to take it out somewhere. The home is the first line of defense for restricting and restraining evil in the hearts of children, The parents are the first ones that tell them no, the first ones that tell them or set the example for how they're supposed to behave, how they're supposed to function in the world, how they're supposed to treat others. The differences between boys and girls, and the way that you interact with the boy is different than the way you interact with the girl. Your parents are the first ones to teach you what no means, and that there are boundaries and restrictions on you that you have to comply to. What we are seeing now, and I'm going to show you, you're going to see a prime example of this from the mother. I'm going to show a press, well, it's not really a press conference, but the media happened to catch this young man's mother after a court appearance. And what you're going to hear is going to be completely shocking. But just to recap, the story that's been provided is that she would not give this young man her phone number, and he's upset about it, and he's decided he's going to make her pay. The other thing that I noticed about this is the friends that are videotaping this. He wanted his friends to document this behavior, and he wanted it cemented on video for public consumption and for him to watch later. So that's the other thing that I noticed. And y'all also noticed the wanton disregard that these young men had for this young woman, and they were egging him on and basically being his whole peanut gallery, ensuring that his ego was stroked and that he was feeling like the big man on the block. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the mother has to say, because what the mother says is going to tell you everything that you need to know about why this young man acts the way that he does. Take a listen to this.
My daughter, AR, she was physically assaulted in that school, and the principal don't do nothing about it. Nothing. I have 29 police reports calling on the DOE to help me with the children. They never did nothing.
And what did the judge say today?
The judge said because of I've been getting death threats of this situation. Everybody targeting me. Even my neighbor want to hit my 14-year-old, think he's a man. You understand? And the judge said they have to keep him for safety.
The first thing I want to do is point out the delusional way that this woman has. She has such a distorted view of reality. She is already, like, she really believes that her baby is the victim and her family is the victim, and that she has gone to the school administration and she's got all of these police reports to help her with the children, and nobody does anything. The first thing I want to know is, why is it that we believe that it is the school's responsibility to help with your children? We are commissioned with the responsibility to train and shepherd and raise our own children. And if more parents took more personal responsibility for their own children and didn't share custody of their children with the government and didn't lay down and have babies out of wedlock indiscriminately where the man is not around, and you don't even have good sense to know that this young boy is out of control and he has not been given any standards or requirements, or he's not been given any boundaries and any behavioral instructions on how he's to conduct himself. And when you listen to her, you're listening to her say that nobody helped me. We have a whole generation of women that are so entitled that they believe that they can just have these children, and that the government is responsible for helping raise them, and that when things go wrong, it is the government's responsibility and the school's responsibility and the community's responsibility to help you with your child. Listen, don't believe me? She's essentially going to tell you this. Take a listen to this.
But why did he stomp on her head?
She said something to him. You know what she did first?
The news reporter asked her a very basic question. Why did he stomp on her head? And her response was, Do you know what she did to him? As if whatever it is that she did to him warrants him stomping her in the head. This woman didn't even, she lacked so much self-awareness that she didn't even know how retarded she sounds and how crazy and just out of touch with reality that she sounds. To her, this is her baby boy. And do you know what they had did to him? What they did to her baby? He's not a man. You know, my neighbor wants to come and beat up my son as if he's a man. Ma'am, have you seen this video? Do you see, first of all, do you see how big your son is? And do you see the aggressive way that this young boy attacked this young girl? How were you shocked and surprised and confused that somebody wants to lay hands on him like he was a grown man? And then this woman had the nerve to say, but do you know what she did to him? No accountability, no boundaries. This is where he learned it. He's not getting it at home. This is her son husband. This woman is coddling this young boy. He is playing a substitute husband. This is the man in her life. She's all decked out, got her nails all done, got her jewelry all blinging and stuff. That's her baby boy. That's her man. And she's going to defend her man no matter what. Just keep listening.
He pushed him. And he has flat foot, same foot, but like that, because I took him to the hospital Monday too. Yes.
But you don't see that on the video.
I have that video. I have that piece of
But her
No, the same one.
But her shoving him, how does that equal him picking her up, dropping her on her neck, and then stomping on her head?
Let me be
It
clear.
seems like you're justifying it.
No.
This is why this is why that young man is going to end up fatally injuring someone else if he doesn't end up in jail first. Do you see this woman's disposition when the media is pressing her to help her rationalize and make sense of the fact, but she pushing him? Why does that warrant him body slamming her on her neck and then kicking her in the head? This woman is smiling. These are the women y'all are laying down having kids with. These women, look, I am not saying all single mamas are evil. That ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a crop, a caliber, a type of woman that is so sinister and evil and manipulative and chaotic and destructive, a whole orangutan, a whole headache, a female imbecile who cannot manage her misery. That's why her house is chaos, her life is chaos, her child is chaos. This whole situation is nothing but chaos. Look at her face. She's literally in her mind. She has rationalized and come up with an explanation that justifies what he did. This is why that boy will never be held accountable. He's not being held accountable in his home. He's probably spoiled rotten. He's probably used to getting his way. She give him everything he want because his daddy probably ain't around. If he is, I don't know. But typically in situations like this, she's spoiling the heck out of him and making her the center of her universe because that's her man. This is the son-husband syndrome. He's not going to be good to anybody. He's violent. He does not respect women. And the reason why he's like that is because of her. She's the problem. She's the common denominator in all of this.
They were coming from school together.
Okay.
But they're friends, going to the park. That's what they did every day.
And then she's bullying him.
She's bullying Najee from in the school.
And what is she saying to him to bully him?
She said, dirty nigga. She's a racist. She's calling dirty nigga and dirty slurs. That's from my understanding because it's been emailed me from the school. You understand? Because my kids, if they take phone, they email the parents.
Right.
Yes, because they're so smart they are.
Do you have the video where you say she's harassing him? Do you have that video?
From in the school. Yes, I have everything.
Can you give it
She
to
has
us?
nothing.
No.
She's a liar.
Do you have it?
That will be in his defense if you give it to us.
I have many defense of
The
him.
only video
See?
we have
That's all all she cares about. I have many defense of him. This woman doesn't see where this boy did anything wrong. If anything, he is the victim. Just like her life situation, her life circumstances, everything that's happened to her, none of this is her fault. It's somebody else's. She's raising a monster twice the son of hell as she is. That's why she can say, I've got plenty of defense of him. Not one time has she said, I am heartbroken. I am embarrassed. I feel so much sorrow for what this young lady is going through. I pray she pulls through. You know, we've got so much work some sort of politically correct response, but you're not going to get that. All you get here is defense. This woman will defend this man even when he's on death row. I guarantee it. I know these types. We're almost done.
Now it's him slamming her
There are many
into the sidewalk.
The attorney of the attorney. Like, he's a minor. You understand? He's a minor.
See? She see him as the little 4-year-old little boy that she probably pierced his ears and put all the little jewelry on him and some Jordans every week. This boy is a spoiled, entitled man-child that she raised, who believes that if you reject him, if you tell him no, if you don't give him what he wants, he's going to handle you. That is the type of behavior that we witnessed from this young man, and it's because this is what's being reinforced at home. She's not raising this boy. He is raising her and controlling that house. And she's an enabler. She is crippling this young man. Where is the father? And where is her father? Because let me tell you something. My husband, he would be under the jail right now because little buddy, right, little Sanchez here, they wouldn't be able to find him. They would not be able to find him. This is YouTube, so we got to, we don't incite violence on here. We don't encourage violence on here. But I can't tell you what would happen if what happened to that young lady happened to one of my girls and Robert Chapman is still alive. They better put that young man in protective custody. It's all I got to say. They would have had to put him in protective custody.
This is crazy. You see, police don't do nothing. The DOE don't do nothing. Civilian no need to get involved because East Harlem school is a violent school. How can you even have a 11-year-old beaten down in front of 4 teachers?
Do you have...
This woman has shoved the responsibility and has blamed everything else except her violent and out of control son that she raised. This woman said the police don't do nothing. And the DOE, the Department of Education, they don't do anything. It's because you're sending your melanated miscreant down to the school and he's part of the problem. He's the one or one of the ones contributing to the unsafe conditions and in the schoolhouse. And this is why. These children are out of control because it starts in the home. Parents are your first teacher. They're the ones that teach you about restraint and boundaries, and they tell you, no, you cannot go. No, you cannot have this. Don't touch. Pow, pow. It's the parent that instills that. But what happens when you have a parent that doesn't do that? When you have a parent that coddles you, when you have a parent that believes, this woman speaks of the DOE and the police as if they share custody of her child. Do you now see why I am always linking the cultural dependency that we see today? And I'm always saying and encouraging parents, we don't share custody of our children with the government, but it's this dependent socialistic framework from which the Black community has been so accustomed to. Our culture of dependence, our lack of personal responsibility and accountability, The fact that we are the eternal victims and we're always blaming everybody else except looking in the mirror, they apply this to every facet of their life, including a situation where her son had his friends record him on camera brutally assaulting a young woman. This woman can stand there and fix her mouth to say that, do you know what she did to him first? All of that school in Harlem is a violent school, then why do you keep sending your son there? If your son is the brilliant scholar, right? If he's the Rhodes Scholar and Golden Key National Honor Society, and if he's the front runner to win all of the academic scholarships because he's just a brainiac, in the math and STEM and stuff, and he didn't do nothing to nobody. It's what she did to him. Why is he still in that school? If he's so gifted and so talented and so smart and none of this is his fault and the school is just violent, why is he there? These schools are violent because of children that like hers that attend these schools. It is precisely the reason why I did not attend my neighborhood junior high school when I was in the Bronx, 123. I'll never forget it. I had 3 siblings matriculate from 123. It was a brutally violent school, fights every day. I mean, this school had a bad reputation. And my sister and brothers had told me so many horror stories about this school that I knew in the 1st grade that when I got to the 7th grade, I was not going to 123. I knew that for a fact. And my mother planned ahead to make sure that I could get out, and she sent me to a performing arts. It was a specialty, a charter school at the time, a performing arts school in Spanish Harlem, just a few blocks away from here. So it was in one building. All of us shared. It was 3 schools in one building, and my school was all on one floor. The whole 2nd floor was our school. And we had 2 classes per each grade. So it was 2 7th grade classes, 2 8th grade classes, 2 9th grade classes. It was just 6 classes, and we was all on one floor. We just switched classes all day, walking up and down the same hall. Best years of my life. The teachers cared, the parents were involved, and they didn't just let anybody in. Oh, if you fought once, you're not coming back. You're gone. You're out. I never saw not one fight at Harbor School for Performing Arts when I was there. The culture did not allow it. You were so grateful to have gotten into this school that you didn't want to ruin your chances. Those were the type of children that were attracted and wanted to go to this school. They were academic achievers. And a lot of us came from single mama homes, but those single mamas were like, not my son, not my daughter. They're not going to be a statistic. I'm going to give them a better life. So you had some of us were traveling from the Bronx. You had some of us that were traveling from Mount Vernon and Yonkers and Jersey. I mean, we were coming from all over to attend this school. That is how highly rated academically and from a performance arts perspective that it was. But it's parents like this that don't take responsibility for their own children. They're not raising their children. They think they share custody of their children with the government, and they're expecting the government to raise them. Well, I can tell you this. Not only does the government make a horrible God and a horrible master, it is a horrible parent. It is no substitute for parental guidance. And that is what this young man has not and is not getting at home. We don't know where the father is. This mom is standing here sounding like a complete idiot, making all kinds of excuses. She's the problem. I blame her. She should be charged for his negligence and his assault because she was negligent in raising him, and she done raised a melanated miscreant that's terrorizing the school. He probably one of them Taquations in the school that's causing all the hell. That's what you're watching. So listen, this was an impromptu reaction. Y'all, I didn't have no notes. I just wanted to react to this. This story made me so angry because it is precisely what's wrong with the culture. We have a culture, several generations of bastards raising bastards, of unwise, silly women that are married to the government, not necessarily because she look like she got a job and she taking care of herself. When I say married to the government, I'm talking about the unholy alliance and the unhealthy relationship that these women have with the government because they look to the government to provide solutions to all of their problems to the point where they are accountable for nothing. And they accept personal responsibility for nothing, not even the behavior of their own children, their own seed that they spawn. It ain't even their fault when they body slam somebody and stomp somebody in the head. It's not him, not her baby, not her son husband. So anyway, y'all listen, let me calm down. I'm curious to know, what do you guys think? Do you believe that this young man has been terrorized and bullied by that little young girl? So much so that he just snapped and got to a breaking point where he was like, you know what? I'm about to finally fight back, and body slammed her and stomped her in the head. Do you really believe that narrative that's coming from this mama? Or do you believe, nah, pimping, this boy is violent. She treats him like a son husband. She babies him and coddles him, and he ain't got no restraints, no discipline, no standards, no nothing. And where is the father? These are questions all of us have to have. But whatever it is that your opinion is, leave me your comments down in the box below. And until next time, you guys, stand firm, stay bold, and above all else, stay unshakable. Grace and peace.